You've heard of Bigfoot. I've heard of Bigfoot. Your mom's heard of Bigfoot. Your dad? Maybe your grandma.
Huh?
I don't know. He's out there. Is he? I don't know. This is what we're going to talk about for this topic of this video. What is Bigfoot? Who is Bigfoot? Where is Bigfoot? This big hairy creature has been around for apparently hundreds, if not thousands, of years. A big hairy man. Apparently he smells like shit. I don't know. I've never seen or even heard anything remotely like this when I've been out in the forest. But apparently people have, and apparently people have recorded it, and apparently people have recorded audio tapes, recordings. This is the 70s when I've heard the most popular one. From the beginning, if you guys don't know what a Bigfoot is, it's a
Big, hairy creature.
that stands around, like, apparently reports say 7 feet tall. Maybe it's 10 feet tall. I don't know. This is what we're going to get into right now. Also, he has a big foot if you guys haven't caught on the reference of that yet. And he's also been referred to as a Sasquatch. I don't know where that name derives from, but let's read it right off the bat. So, Bigfoot, also commonly referred to as Sasquatch or Sasquatch. I'm just kidding, that's what it says here on the Bigfoot article on Wikipedia. Is a large, hairy, mythical creature said to inhabit forests of North America, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. Bigfoot is featured in both American and Canadian folklore. Since the mid-20th century, has become a cultural icon and been featured in popular culture. Enthusiasts of Bigfoot, such as those with pseudoscience of cryptozoology, whatever that means, have offered various forms of dubious evidence to support Bigfoot's existence, including anecdotal claims of sightings as well as supposed photographs, video, audio recordings, hair samples, and casts of large footprints. However, the evidence is a combination of folklore, misidentification, and hoax, and the creature is not a living animal, says Wikipedia. What the hell do they even know? They gather information from people who put it on here, right? Also, as I was reading that, what the hell is a Bigfoot hair? I mean, how would you not distinct that from your own ass hair or a monkey's hair, right? I mean, you can't just pick something off the floor and be like, this is a hair of a Sasquatch. I mean, who's to say you just picked your own ass hair and be like, Sasquatch hair? Test it. It's got poop on it. No shit. No shit. That's pretty gross. I digress. Folklore traced the phenomenon to Bigfoot to a combination of factors and sources, including European wildman figure, folktales, and indigenous cultures. I can't read apparently today. Examples of similar folk tales of wild hair-covered humanoids exist through the world, such as the skunk ape. I'll include a picture right here. In the southeastern United States, the Almas, Yeren, and the Yeti in Asia. In Australian Yowie, the Australian Yowie mate, and creatures in mythologies of indigenous people. Description, for those of you who don't know what a Bigfoot is. You have trouble understanding if you've never heard of a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. Unless you're like 5 or something watching this video. In that case, welcome.
FBI, open up!
I guess. Bigfoot is often described as a large, muscular, bipedal human or ape-like creature covered in dark brown, black, or dark reddish hair. Anecdotal descriptions of the estimate are of a height of around roughly 6 to 9 feet. Or 6-7 feet. You know what I'm talking about. No? Nah, whatever. Some alleged observations of Bigfoot are more human than ape, particularly in regards to the face. In 1971, in Dallas, Oregon, not Dallas, Texas, Dallas, I don't know, filed a police report describing an overgrown ape, and one of them claimed to have sighted the creature in the scope of his rifle, but could not bring himself to shoot it because it looked more human than animal. He quotes. Common descriptions include broad shoulders, no visible neck, so just walking around like this, and long arms, which many skeptics attribute to the misidentification of a bear standing upright. You know, I've read this article before. I really don't know how you cannot distinguish a ape creature from a bear. I mean, bears have these long snouts, right? And if something is a humanoid creature, how Again, who knows, right? So, anyways, that's the description. Also has a really big foot. I think I already mentioned that, but in case you guys did not know, Bigfoot has a big foot. The enormous footprints of the creature have been claimed to be as large as 24 inches and 8 inches wide. Some footprints have also contained claw marks. Again, somebody said making it likely, or this is what Wikipedia says, claiming that it can be from a bear, which have 5 toes and claws. Really didn't misidentify that, but I'm not a cryptozoologist or whatever made up word that is. Native Americans have been seeing creatures like this, but the Native Americans, have a lot of creatures, right? Like the Skinwalker, which you're not supposed to repeat his name, otherwise it'll come and find you in the middle of the night, or if you're in the forest, and kill you and your entire family. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. I don't know. Maybe. On the Tule River Indian Reservation, petroglyphs created a tribe of the Yakuts at a site called the Painted Rock are alleged, Kathy Moskowitz Strain, author of the 2008 book Giants, Cannibals, Monsters, Bigfoot, and Native Culture. That was the name of the book, by the way, to depict a group of Bigfoots called the Family. The largest glyph is called Hairy Man, also known as Mayak Datat. I'm probably butchering the way that's pronounced, and they are estimated to be 1,000 years old. According to the Tulare County Board of Education in 1975, Bigfoot and the Hairy Man was a creature that was like a big giant with long, shaggy hair. His long, shaggy hair made him look like a big animal. So parents warned their children not to venture near the rivers at night, or they might encounter the creature, and you don't want to encounter the Maya Datat. I'll go ahead and include a picture over here of the petroglyph. Honestly, it looks like a 5-year-old drew it. Yeah, now if I went to go tell my 5-year-old kid, which I don't have, he would probably draw something similar to this, if not better. 16th century Spanish explorers and Mexican settlers told stories of Los Vigilantes Oscuros, or the Dark Watchers, for you English speakers. Large creatures alleged to stalk their camps at night in the region now known as Mississippi. A Jesuit priest was living in the Natchez in 1721 and reported stories of hairy creatures in the forest known to scream loudly and steal livestock. That wasn't called for. I'm sorry for you headphone listeners. Burns coined the term Sasquatch, believed it to be angelicized in the version of Saskets, roughly translating to the hairy man. In the, again, another hard word I cannot pronounce, Hakamalamalayan language. Nope, definitely butchered that. 100%. We'll get to some of the most prominent, most popular sightings of Bigfoot. If you guys have not seen the Patterson-Gimlin film, this film captured in 1967. It shows shot motion picture created by Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin that depicts an unidentified subject that the filmmakers stated was a Bigfoot. The footage was shot in 1967 in Northern California and had since been subjected to many attempts to authenticate it or debunk it. I've seen this footage before. The first time I ever saw it, I probably would have believed it. Yes, it just looks like a creature that is very tall. I mean, just even from how far they are shooting this footage, the creature looks massive, right? And it's just kind of taking really long strides with its arms out. I'll include the footage here. It's really not that long of a footage. And then the creature looks at the camera too. Like, I see you. The filmmakers were Roger Patterson and Robert Bob Gimlin. Patterson actually died of cancer in 1972. And he maintained to the end that the film was real.
With my dying breath, I swear it was real.
That was cheesy. Sorry. Patterson's friend Gimlin has always denied being involved in any part of the hoax with Patterson. Gimlin mostly avoided publicly discussing any subject from at least early 1970s up until 2005, except 3 appearances when he began giving interviews and appearing at Bigfoot conferences. Bigfoot conferences, you say? I wonder what happens there. People just go dressed up as Sasquatch. Hey, Joe. This year, awesome, right? Great turnout. Oh, I see you brought a different costume. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I actually shit my pants in mine so that I would have more of the real effect of smelling like shit. Like they say Bigfoot smells like. Pretty gross. Pretty gross. This is why it was taken. In 1962, he visited Bluff Creek and talked with a whole host of Bigfoot believers. In 1964, he returned and met a timber cruiser named Pat Graves, who drove him to Laird Meadows. Then Patterson saw fresh tracks. For him, an almost unbearable, exciting, spine-chilling experience. What a tremendous feat it would be. What a scientific breakthrough if he could obtain an unshakable evidence that these tracks were not from the of a prankster, but the actual marks of a unknown creature. If he succeeded, he would be famous and rich. Alas, fame and fortune were not gained that year, nor next, and nor the next. Patterson invested thousands of hours and dollars combing Bigfoot and Sasquatch territory. Honestly, just reading this, if I was on the verge of financial ruin and I'm looking for a Bigfoot, I'm gonna make a Bigfoot, right? And that's exactly what he. This is my personal opinion. That's exactly what it sounds like he did. Wasted all his money. If he had a girlfriend or wife, probably was like, "You got to stop with the Bigfoot thing, dude. Like, get a real job, man. We're losing money on this, and it's not really going anywhere." And so he had his. I don't know. Maybe he had a friend on stilts. Maybe he had a friend that was really freaking tall. I don't know. Told him to put on this ape suit, and just go out there and walk, please. Make it look as real as possible. And he's like, you know what? Sure, dude, let's do it. Boom. Then we get the Patterson Gimlin film. 50 years, more than 50 years later. You know what? And it's one of the most famous pieces of footage that there is out there. As their stories went, early in the afternoon of Friday, October 20th, 1967, Patterson and Gimlin were riding generally northeast, upstream on horseback along the east bank of Bluff Creek. At sometime between 1:15 and 1:40 p.m., they came to an overturned tree with a large root system at a turn in the creek, almost as high as a room. And they spotted the figure behind it nearly simultaneously. It was either crouching beside the creek to their left or standing there on the opposite bank. Gimlin later described himself in a mild state of shock after seeing the creature. Is that a Bigfoot? Or is that my homie dressed up? fucking suit. I don't know, man. I'm just imagining. He's like, how are we going to describe this, dude? It's like, just go crouch over there. And I don't know why this is so funny to me. I'm reading this and that. Okay, so the film, Patterson initially estimated its height at 6 feet 6 inches to 7 feet. I'm tearing up here, and later raised his estimate to about 7'6". Some later analysts, anthropologist Grover Krantz among them, have suggested Patterson's later estimate was about 1 foot too tall. 1 foot way too tall, bro. Definitely not. Definitely. And Gimlin's estimate was about 6 feet. Again, maybe it was a baby Bigfoot, or maybe it was homie dressed up in a suit. Okay. The film shows Patterson and Gimlin claimed this large, hairy, bipedal, ape-like figure with short, silvery brown hair, dark reddish or black, covering most of its body, including its prominent breastises. The figure in the film generally matches the descriptions of Bigfoot offered by others who have claimed to see one. Advertising of this success, an individual estimated 50% of the film's profits amounted to $75,000. I don't really know what that is in 1967, but it sounds like a lot, to be honest with you. It's kind of unfortunate that Patterson died in 72. You can even see the bear the fruit of his work there. One of the ones I've heard about is the Ron Moorhead recording. And so basically it's just a recording that took place in the 1970s. It's mainly just an audio, but it sounds basically like a howling creature, and whoever's recording this video is howling back, or kind of mimicking the sounds of this creature, and it's mimicking it back.
He's trying to talk to this.
That was one of the recordings by Ron Moorhead. Does he have Moorhead? I don't know. That's for you to decide. So, kind of just banking on top of that. There's other creatures like the Yeti too, but we'll go ahead and leave it right there. Maybe they'll save the Yeti for another time. So yeah, what do you guys think? What do I think? I don't know. I've been out in the forest multiple times. I once in 2020, the most recent time I spent in like the forest, like this like random big forest, was probably the Grand Canyon. There's a forest down. I want to say it was I don't even remember what state, man. This is 5 years ago. My memory is completely crap. But it was pretty creepy staying out there. You know, that like we were probably the only people out there that I remember when we camped out there. Like we had to set up tent and everything. But you know, I didn't hear any weird sounds or anything like that. I know that's not the Pacific Northwest, but it just overall sounds in the forest. Never heard anything creepy. But then again, I haven't really been camping over like the Pacific Northwest or even the Appalachian Trails, or like I've heard a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have to make a video about that too, so stay tuned for that. I don't think there's enough physical evidence for us to support a claim that Bigfoot is real. Is that to say that that he doesn't exist? No, I mean that's just my personal opinion. But what do you guys think? Leave your opinions in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.